Good morning and welcome to Today in the News here on Vanguard Life. My name is Adewumi. I'll look into our newspapers for today, starting with Vanguard as usual. Media headline on Vanguard says Insecurity, bandits unleash terror in Kogi, Kano, Sokoto, Kwara. Nigerian schools need security education now, says Shoyinka. Be courageous to tackle insecurity, reconcile Nigerians. Bakare tells Tinubu we will rescue all Ejima church victims, Kogi government says. Niger kidnappings, church confirms 4 children of catechists among victims. Major story can be found on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Chobana presidency to Obasanjo, terrorism took root under your watch. FDI loses ground despite surging inflows. Dangote refinery to supply 1.5 billion liters of petrol monthly. New tax regime may trigger capital flight, says ex-Nasima Chia. Ambassador-designate mixed reaction through Ikpeazu, Ugwuanyi, others nomination. Abacha loot, EFCC seizes Malami's passport. Olusegun Solo's landfill site to be shut in 18 months, Lagos government says. Delayed trials undermine rule of law, says Governor Yusuf. That's all we have on the front page of Vanguard this morning. A look into the Punch newspaper. Major headline on the Punch says crude for loans, NNPCL battles 8 trillion naira outstanding debt. 230,000 barrels daily withheld for loan servicing. Refinery rehabilitation adds 1.4 trillion to NNPCL loan boarding. Top banner, federal government, ASU talks on 40% pay rise. Insecurity, state assemblies move to debate state police. Bandits kidnap 490 in 2-week rampage. Lower banner, 828 million liters of petrol imported to avert nationwide shortage. 2027, I won't settle for VP slot, says Amici. Away from the Punch and look into the Nation newspaper, media line on the Nation says, it's now total war on terrorists. Airstrikes pound criminals in Castina, Bonu, abduction in Kogi, Kwara, Sokoto. Top banner, Tinubu Audu left a template for good governance in Kogi. How to halt escalating insecurity, build nationhood by Bakare. Dangote pumps 50 million liters of petrol per day into market. Oshun ex SSG Adeoti dumps Aregbesola group. Away from the Nation, look into the Guardian newspaper. Major headline on the Guardian says 42,000 schools still vulnerable despite $30 million safe school funds. Dangote refinery to supply 1.5 billion liters of PMS monthly. Fresh abductions, killing test Tinubu security emergency, heightened anxiety. Discordant tunes trail Tinubu's ambassadorial list. That's all we have on the front page of the newspapers this morning. Join us after the break for a quick analysis of some of our top stories. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Today in the News here on Vanguard Life. My name is Ololade Adeomi. Joining me today for a quick analysis of some of our top stories is Mr. Aliyu Mohammed, CEO of Magnet Communications. Good morning, sir.
You were missing last week. What happened?
I wasn't missing. How was your weekend?
Very well.
I look into our top story for today. President Bola Tinubu has nominated a set of 32 individuals for ambassadorial positions. The nominees include high-profile names such as Reno Omokri, Femi Fani-Kayode, the former aviation minister, Muhammad Yakubu, immediate past chair of Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), as well as some past governors. The 32-member list comprises 15 career diplomats and 17 non-career political appointees, ex-politicians, former public office holders. What are your thoughts on this appointment, especially with the fact that a lot of them are former politicians, former ex-public office holders?
Well, I want to say that the team that has been constituted by the president consists of, like you said, past office holders who are well known. Some of them are known for doing very well in public service. And I hope they will bring the experience they've had over the years to the fore in the discharge of their duties this time around. Because you see, the situation in this country today demands that those who we are going to put in offices shows a high degree of responsibility. You can see what is going on in this country. It is not the president alone that will be left to solve this problem. The man needs the cooperation of all of us as Nigerians, ministers, ambassadors. The image and reputation of this country have been negatively battered, heavily battered, so much so that we need responsible appointees to help shore up the image of their country, to help establish strong diplomacy among the countries to which they will be posted with Nigeria. We also request from these people a lot of crisis management in restoring the good name of Nigeria. Because you see, one of the reasons why the appointment of ambassadors was rushed was due to the crisis we had with the United States of America. We had to send people from Nigeria to put up a strong defense against the horrible allegations, which I don't want to start talking about here. That delegation went there and they did their best to say the truth about the situation of the country. They were plotting the invasion of Nigeria by the United States of America. But unfortunately, that wish was aborted through diplomacy. And these are part of the responsibilities that these ambassadors, the newly appointed ambassadors, will have to take up immediately. They have to shore up the image and reputation of this country in whatever position or wherever they find themselves. They must shore up the image of this country. They must ensure that there is adequate flow of information about this country wherever they are. Because you see, reputation management is heavily dependent on saying the truth about your country, what is going on. We have a lot of misconception of the situation in this country by other parts of the world. Some people will think that Nigeria, this country is at war with Boko Haram. Well, they can say that again because we don't appear to be winning the war against Boko Haram and other bandits. So we need to ensure that we strategize to come on top of this situation that we have found ourselves as a nation. It is not giving Nigeria a good image in the Committee of Nations. And this is part of the responsibilities that the newly appointed diplomats have ahead of them. They must ensure that they give the true situation of things in this country wherever they are, and ensure that there is a free flow of information about Nigeria. That is very vital. If you are an ambassador and you are just there sitting down and enjoying yourself, you are not doing anything about the image and reputation of this country, you are not performing your duties. So we must work hard to ensure that the truth about Nigeria is known all over the world, almost on daily basis.
So there have been mixed reactions concerning this appointment, with people alleging that the list is a reward, is the president rewarding political loyalty rather than actually putting competent diplomats in that position. What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't agree 100% with that. If you are the president of Nigeria, will you appoint the people you don't know into such positions? Let's start by you answering that question. I won't go out to pick my enemy. I won't go out to pick anybody that I don't know, whose competence is in doubt. If I am the president of Nigeria today and I am given the opportunity to pick people, I will pick you because I know you. To some extent, I know that you have a good character and I know you are competent. I won't go out to pick somebody from the roadside that I don't know. So all those allegations are, to me, what we call bad belly in Nigeria. I am happy that we are going to have diplomats abroad now. Then it will contribute extensively to the reshaping of the image and reputation of Nigeria. I keep talking about the image and reputation. Our image as a nation has been badly battered. Drug has seriously contributed negatively to the image of Nigeria. Drug peddling. Then this war by Boko Haram, it has exposed the strength of Nigeria negatively as a nation. But you see, I would join those who are calling for foreign assistance for Nigeria if the need arises. That we need foreign support to conquer Boko Haram. Because from the things that I am reading, I am not on the battlefield, but from what I am reading, our soldiers are not winning the war against banditry. I must say this and say it clearly, because I don't have to tell lies. You know the number of people that have been killed. I don't want to start announcing that here. Over the weekend in Kwara and which state? I think Kogi.
Yes.
A lot of people were killed there. Where were the soldiers in those states? Where were the policemen? Where were the mobile policemen? Where were members of the Department of State Security? There is an information gathering architecture in this country. What happened to it? How come bandits that are branded illiterates, that are branded miscreants, are having an edge over our security architecture? I leave that question for those who are in power to answer.
Okay, so because there's a mix of both, non-career and then the traditional career diplomats, do you think this would anyway affect how the foreign government will see them?
You see, in the appointment of ambassadors over the years, as I know, you have career ambassadors, those whose job has to do with
strictly diplomats.
With diplomacy.
Yeah.
Then you have people who are not trained along that line. You don't put career ambassadors in nations that you have multiple interests. You don't put them in charge of those nations. So you put career ambassadors in nations like the United States, United Kingdom, USSR. The non-career diplomat may be in other lesser countries. That is what the situation is every time we have this kind of nomination. And so it is not different from what we've been having. You have career diplomats, non-career diplomats. We have people who have never held any diplomatic positions.
There seems to be more of the non-career right now.
There are more of them. You can't also rule out political patronage in all of this because they've all helped the president one way or the other to either become the president of Nigeria or to sustain his office till today. If you are the president, you will do the same thing. If I am the president and you have done such a thing for me, I will give you an appointment.
So the president has asked the Senate to confirm the nominees expeditiously. What criteria do you think the Senate has to look out for? Like what expectations or what are the criteria the Senate have to consider, prioritize when vetting these people?
Number one, these people those who are going to be screened, don't let me just say these people, they must be experienced in diplomacy, number one. Number two, the capability to manage crisis. Because you see, when you are sent abroad, you are not just going there to be drinking tea and champagne. No, you must be able to manage crisis. Manage crisis as in ensuring good image for this country. Manage crisis as you ensure that the relationship between Nigeria and the country to which you have been posted is cordial 24/7. You must ensure that there is free flow of information between your country officials and the officials of the country to which you have been posted. It is a job that is demanding, and it is not a job for neophytes. You must know clearly what you are doing as a diplomat. Otherwise, your incompetence will be exposed so easily. I spoke with one of them last night till about 1 a.m. A friend of mine, I spoke with him. I called him earlier and I said, look, this job is not a job where you can go there and do grad. You just go there and ensure that you bring everybody together. And he said, yes, I agree with you. I gave him a piece of my advice. I hope you will listen to it. Because you see, it's a very sensitive job that can expose your competence and incompetence within a very short time. Because you are in the eyes of the world as an ambassador. You are representing Nigeria as a nation. So you can't afford to misbehave in any way in that country. Otherwise, Nigeria will be branded in the positive or negative image that you reflect there. So that's why I'm saying that it's a very sensitive position. And I hope those who have been so appointed will take that along as they are going out of the country on these very crucial assignments.
Do you think that a dangerous president has been set? That once you have held certain offices like governorship or even being a past minister, that you are most likely to be promoted to an ambassadorial position?
See, when you want to employ in any company, they will ask you how many years of experience you've had on the job. So I don't see anything wrong with the government appointing a former governor, appointing former ministers who have had varied experiences in the administration of this country. Some of us who have not been so appointed will not even know the difference between top secret and non-secret documents. Do you know that there is something so-called in public service? There are secret documents, top secret documents, and all that. I've been essay to somebody in government, so I know it. So the truth of the matter is that you won't blame the government for appointing mostly retired or former governors, former ministers, because they have been used to the system, not because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu likes them more than any other person. No. Because if you go abroad, you can't go there to start to get somebody to tutor you about diplomacy. You have to get there and hit the ground running with a lot of caution. Because if you are not cautious and you run anyhow, you are likely to be embarrassed. You are likely to be disgraced. This was what I tell the person that I spoke to last night. Take it easy. So, you see, this thing is about experience, about the experience that you've had. But once you take over that position, your experience becomes higher by the day. You get to know more about diplomacy, how to handle diplomatic issues. You know when to talk, you know when to keep quiet, you know when to hold meetings with the country officials that you have been, with the officials in the country that you have been posted to. So that is the way it works. So it's a very sensitive position that can easily expose your weaknesses if you don't know what you are doing.
Away from that, let's quickly look at our second story. I look into a second story. Bandits in the early hours of yesterday attacked the Cherubim and Seraphim Church in Yagaba West local government area of Kogi State, abducting the pastor, his wife, and several worshippers. There have also been a series of coordinated, attacks in Kogi State, Kano State, Sokoto State, and Kwara State, even as the presidency has declared total war on these terrorists and, airstrikes have been said to pound criminals in Katsina and Borno State. Given that, these attacks have occurred despite all of this, what does it say about our current security problem?
You just said it all. It's a security problem. Unfortunately, I feel so touched about the level of killings that is going on. Human life is sacrosanct. It is not to be taken by anybody. But unfortunately, we have unnecessary bloodshed in this country today. And it is sad. What are those in government doing? That is the truth of the matter. Don't be surprised though if they start approaching government houses, governors' offices. It could get to that level. If people cannot be protected, ordinary people cannot be protected, a whole brigadier general was taken away and killed like a goat in this country. It is a bad precedent. It is sad. I don't know what to say at this juncture, but we need to get it right. Otherwise, may bandits not take over the administration of this country one day. How do they get their weapons? Who supplies them weapons? Nobody is probing all this. The worst of all is that government is now negotiating, paying them ransom to release kidnapped victims. How did we get to that level? In Yoruba, they say government is amunimada, that the person that will arrest you and you will never get out of that situation. But we have the government now going to beg criminals to release those who have been kidnapped. It's a terrible development. It is not speaking well about the administration that we have. I'm not sentimental about whoever is the president, whoever is the governor now. This country must not degenerate to the situation we had in Liberia, that the situation we have in other parts of the world where soldiers had to take over. We've had terrible years of military dictatorship. I don't pray we get back to that situation. So government must ensure that Boko Haram, kidnappers by whatever name, they are hunted down, because it is creating a bad image for this country as an independent nation with a sitting president. We have people being kidnapped, and the same government, I don't know at what level, goes out to negotiate with bandits. It is embarrassing now. If that continues, that means bandits will take over the administration of this. They can do it. They are now so bold that they even go on TV to grant interviews. They talk, and nobody is able to track them. What kind of environment are we? I watched one last night, or was it on YouTube or somewhere, boasting that government cannot do anything to them. And somebody is in Abuja advising this government to go and negotiate with killers in the name of Sheikh Gumi. Is he sane? And Sheikh Gumi is still left untouched. Nobody has invited him for questioning. Then there is something that is going on beneath that some of us don't know. Who is Gumi? He's just an ordinary man. Why is it that nobody has been able to interrogate him all these years? He has been showing support, open support for Boko Haram, and he's left alone. Why? Does he have two heads? No, I insist that Sheikh Gumi should be interrogated. Otherwise, we cannot attribute to the fact that we are fighting these wicked people with all we have.
In areas like Kogi and Kwara, people have said that the forest and the forest surrounding it has been flagged by bandits, and even there's a porous border that has allowed, hideouts for bandits as well. What structural operation do you think, beyond the military, what structural operation do you think should be put in place in places like that?
In places like that are porous, we have
Porous
military
borders,
we have different arms of the military. We have the Air Force, we have the Army, we have the Navy. Why do we have the Navy? To take care of riverine areas. Why do we have the Air Force? To take charge of where we cannot reach by foot. Why do we have soldiers? To be in charge of security at whatever level. But it is now that I am seeing that soldiers are afraid to go to some places. I read it on Saturday or so that some soldiers are avoiding Kwara State. Why? Why? Whoever, if it is true, any soldier that have been identified to have turned down with a deployment to Kwara should be court-martialed. Because it is treason that a soldier is deployed to somewhere and you are running. No. It is treasonable. And it should be treated so. I insist once again that a total war should be declared on all these people called Boko Haram bandits. They are not bigger than this country. They cannot be bigger than Nigeria. If you mobilize all the detachment of the military that we have into the areas where they are, bomb them from the air, from the ground, attack them, we will achieve something. But there are people who are sympathetic with these people and they are not hiding it. And one of them is Sheikh Gumi. Why has the government not arrested him? Gumi cannot be bigger than the president of Nigeria. I am calling today that Sheikh Gumi should be arrested and interrogated if we want to find or to get a solution to the problem of banditry in this country. He has not hidden the fact that he's in support of these people at any time. And yet nobody is doing anything to him. Is he bigger than Nigeria? This country is bigger than any individual. Either you are a billionaire, you are a Gumi, or whatever it is that you are. The interest of this country comes first. And if I were the president of Nigeria today, Sheikh Gumi will be in prison. I am telling you, I will detain him. Let the heavens fall. We've had leaders that have been killed in power. I don't pray it will happen to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but he must do the right thing. Because if care is not taken, his name will go down negatively in the annals of this country, despite the fact that we all want him to succeed. His decisions must be firm, especially on banditry. He must take firm decisions. Otherwise, they will mess him up. Because you see, what I see here is that those who are not even in government, Gumi and the rest, they are doing all they are doing to embarrass him. I won't say more than that.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
You are most welcome.
That was Mr. Liu Mohammed, CEO, Magnet Communication Limited. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms as seen on your screen. For up-to-date stories, check out our website at www.vanguardngr.com. My name is Ololade Adeomi.